3 unknown facts about your knee that will give your knee hope again, guaranteed. I'm not just saying this, I'm saying this as someone who has struggled with knee issues myself for over 7 years, playing football, going to doctors, trying all the different solutions, and slowly starting to lose hope. So I want to give you hope again. If you've been told that you're never going to be the same again, let me show you that that doesn't have to be the case by running you through these facts that might even, confuse you at first. Okay, that's pretty clear. Well, what's unknown about that? Well, I will explain. Your knee is not special. Well, I felt my knee was special. I felt my knee had some kind of condition that I couldn't fix and all these other people could do it. I couldn't. Let me get into why that is not the case. And also, your knee at 100% is simply not enough. I'll get into that as well. Even though that's not okay at 100%, what more do you want? You want more, and I'll tell you exactly why. So make sure to stick around, take out the notes. This video will give your knees hope again. You will be hyped to go and work on your knees after this video. That's my promise for you for today. Now, let's jump straight into it. The first is your knee is a joint. So why haven't you been treating it like a joint, right? All of us know your knee is a joint, but we're always focusing on the muscles. Okay, we went to the doctors, it tells you, okay, you have tightness in your muscles, or you need to strengthen this muscle, or you need to strengthen that, or you have imbalances in the muscle tissue. All these different issues talking just about the muscle. Now, there's nothing wrong with that in terms of, okay, muscle is potentially part of the problem, but we have to look deeper. If it's a joint issue, we have to look at what actually makes up the knee joint, right? Okay, it is the femur and the tibia, and what connects those two, right? We have the patella, we have the patella tendon, we have the quad tendon, we have the ACL, the PCL, we have all these ligaments, lateral, medial, these ligaments that we know, these tendons that we know, this meniscus that we know from research that can grow, okay? This is proven, and this is a fact. Just as your muscles can adapt over time, your ligaments, your tendons can also adapt to mechanical loading, right? So it is key that we start targeting your knee joint itself. Make sure those ligaments, those tendons get stronger, right? That's the key here, because if we just keep focusing on the muscle, then we're only solving one part of the puzzle. And most people don't even know about that, right? So now that you know, you have to also realize that this takes way longer than muscle to adapt, right? So you could go into the gym, pump up your biceps for 2 weeks, and you're already going to see growth. Now with your ligaments, your tendons, your meniscus, those tissues take way longer to adapt, right? You have to be thinking in 3-month progress, in 6 months progress, in 9 months, in 12 months. That's where you can completely remodel those tissues. Right? Lay down the new collagen fibers, get those tissues to get stronger, get thicker, so that they actually support your knee, right? They actually make this knee strong again and connective tissue dominant again, right? Because as a kid, you probably remember you didn't have a lot of muscle around your knee. You didn't really care about that at all, but you could still jump down, you could still run wherever you want, you could do whatever you want. That's because you were connective tissue dominant. Right? Everything, every force that you produce, every position that you get into wouldn't cause too much stress on your knee. So now we want to get back to that by actually taking that first step and targeting the joint more. On my channel, I try to share as much as I can on how you can actually preferentially target those tissues. Right? You can't isolate them. You can't just isolate muscle. You can't just isolate fascia. You can't just isolate tendons, whatever. But we can preferentially train those, putting your body into a position where, okay, now the joint is working hard. For example, a reverse step up, a polygreen step up that really puts a lot of compressive forces on your knee. Make sure that, okay, you're taking out the hips as much as possible, really challenging the knee bend. What we also know is that deep knee bends, they will preferentially target more of the connective tissue. That's what actually, those deep ranges, getting stronger, that's what develops your connective tissues even more, right? And most people, they think, okay, going full deep knee bend is dangerous, puts too much pressure on the knee. But guess what? Creates diamonds. Pressure. What makes your knee healthy? Pressure. If you're not putting pressure on your knees, your body will be like, okay, I don't need those knees anymore. Okay, but you need your knees. You know that very well, especially if you want to keep enjoying the sport you love. So this leads me to the second point, which is that your knee is not special. It is really not special. Maybe there is some people out there, you know, I can never judge or completely give you the medical right advice. Also, this is not medical advice. You need to know that. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that your knee is not special in the sense of, okay, if your knee has the ability to literally bend for 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, then 99% of the people, and I'm talking out of experience here, we've helped over 150 athletes get back to the sport they love, right? The systems we use, we've learned it from mentors that had thousands of success stories. Ben Patrick, Keegan Coach, they learned it from other people that know what they're talking about when it comes to creating knee health, okay? And we're specializing in the football area, and we're going to get into the third point there that really goes into that more, the athleticism, the actual force that's happening in football, and why that plays a big role, obviously, with your knee as well. But your knee is not special. What I want to tell you is that, cool, your knee, all knees have the ability in the beginning as a kid to bend, right, to extend. You can flex your knee, you can extend your knee. So what we need to make sure is that we get those fundamental abilities back. And how do we do that? We not leaving anything out. That means we work from the ground up. Let's say your foot is not working like it should be. This could be causing problems at your knee. If your ankle is not working like it should be, this could be causing problems at your knee. If you have tightness through your calf, the calf is pulling too much, you could have problems with your knee. If your quads are too tight, pulls on the patella, could lead to problems in your knee, right? So there's all these different areas that need to be taken into consideration before you go and say, my knee is special and I'm not going to be able to fix my knee pain, right? And I know this is a lot. This is also a reason why I'm not saying this video alone will help you to get out of knee pain, but will give you and have you realize that it's possible if you then go and do the research, if you then invest into a program like Bulletproof Ballers, where we tell people, come in, we do everything for you, and you're gonna come back stronger than ever. Man, there you go. Whatever you want to do after this video, the goal is that you have this dedication to do it, right? Because as I said, it's gonna take time. This is not a quick fix. This is not a lie, but you need to make sure you actually treat it as such as well. If your knee is not special, then you need to treat it like one that goes into the direction of one that is functioning normally, okay? Being able to fully bend. So where can we start? Well, we bend just slightly to where we can without pain, so we can make those positive adaptations without breaking down the tissues too much. We get a lot of blood flow. We make it feel better. All these different things, tools that we can use to complete this puzzle. So we know, okay, we've done everything we can to address every potential issue for your knee, to say, okay, my knee is special. Okay, it's an hopeless case. But to be honest, I've never seen that, right? If someone actually stays dedicated, knows is addressing everything, then the knee, your body is amazing. Yeah, your body, it works miracles. The healing capacities, that capacity to adapt, the way your mind plays into it, the way your health plays into it. It's really a whole puzzle, but essentially just saying your knee is special, that's too easy, right? That's what I did as well. And most people do this too quickly, maybe say, okay, I've tried everything that normally works, so my knee is special because that hasn't worked. But you haven't really tried everything that normally works, right? You haven't stayed consistent for long enough. Often that's cases here. Again, if that's a different case for you, sorry, right? But I know 99% of these people watching here, you watching, this makes sense to you now, okay? I hope this makes sense. Third thing, your knee at 100% is not enough. Now, what does that mean? At 100%, your knee is at full capability, right? It's as good as your good knee, right? Let's say. Now, the problem is that when you first got injured, when you first had the experience of getting knee pain, didn't you think you were at 100% there? You felt good, but something was off, so that injury occurred, so that pain started coming up. So now we need to make sure we get way beyond that point to make sure that doesn't reoccur, that doesn't come again, okay? Because the worst thing we want is you to put in the work, stay consistent for 3 months, for 6 months, whatever, but not completely getting way beyond that, right? And just thinking, okay, once I'm at 100% or even 95% compared to the good leg is enough. No, especially if you're a footballer, especially if you're an athlete, it's simply not enough. The forces that we're using in our sport, that we're exposed to with jumping, with running, with decelerating, with cutting, they're completely different to all the rehab, strength training, mobility training you could ever do, right? And we see the re-injury rates, right? 75% of people, once they tear their ACL, they're not going to be back at the same level and actually stay there, right? There's only a 25% success rate from people tearing their ACL, going through the rehab, getting back to sport, actually staying there without re-injury. So 1 out of 4 people, right? And we need to push the standards higher so that we minimize the risk of re-injury. I'm not telling you that you can never get injured again, right? But I'm telling you that there is a lot of potential, a lot of hope for your knee. If you think about that your knee is a joint, you can strengthen those tissues. Your knee is not special. Work on the natural abilities. Make sure nothing is not working like it should be. Everything is working like it should be. I'm pretty sure your knee is then also going to work like it should be. And your knee at 100% is simply not enough because that's where you got injured before. Okay? I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, anything's unclear, leave them down below in the comment section. This was a quick, long rant. Like, this needs to be out there. Share this with someone that needs to hear this, right? There is hope for your freaking knees. That's my mission, to make it clear today, because our overall mission is to make ballers bulletproof again, right? And this is part of it. If a baller is, so down and barely standing up and losing hope, I want you to know that you can become bulletproof again, okay? This is the hope that I want to give you. Don't listen to doctors that we've had this over and over. You're never going to bend your knee again. You're never going to walk again. You can actually see those stories in the first link in the description, and also what we work, how we work. More of that in the video description if you want to check it out, and I hope to see you in the next video.